So apparently I'm out of storage. So who knows if this will be saved and or recorded, but we are here. Good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning to y'all. And welcome to another edition of Wake and Pack on a Thursday morning, people. Um, a lot of our shows segues from the others, have cliffhangers from previous days to the others. Yesterday, we talked about Clay Matthews a little bit, still being in his feelings 5-6 years later, for what he had to say. We talked about some of the premature departures or some of the way that the Packers do people on the way out, whether that's good, bad, or whatever we want to call it. There's been numerous players out there who stepped out. And as a disclaimer, first, shout out to Brandy Lewis. Good morning. What's going on? But as a disclaimer, man, I hope I did it right. But, Higher Point of View Gaming Channel. I entered a couple of URLs, whatever it's called, in the chat. So go ahead and click those whenever you guys have the time to, so you could just get a gist of what goes on that channel over there. And everybody who's hopped over on that channel and support me from here, I really, really appreciate it. But let's get to business, man. So as you see the title, it is directly from Clay Matthews' Twitter, right? We remember this. So, we draft Rashan Gary. We give Rashan Gary the same number as Clay Matthews. And, he wasn't too happy about that. He said, damn, Packers, the body isn't even cold yet. I don't even know if they put the toe tag on him, but listen, it was a funny joke, but clearly he was in his feelings because 5 some odd years later, yesterday or a couple days before, he wants to open his mouth and talk about the Aaron Jones departure. So we are going to talk about specifically a couple of departures, okay? Now, we all pretty much came to agreement as a chat that, hey, it may not be the best way. We may not have handled these kind of situations the best way, and it's okay to admit that. But what also we got to do is hindsight is 2020. Let's look at what we actually did to see if we did actually get rid of a guy a year too early before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So we about to dive into these numbers. We about to see what's going on. Get the players a handshake and say, thank you. All problems are solved. Absolutely, Brandy. But hey, they seem they can't even do that around 1265 sometimes. As much as we like to, boast and brag and boast about our franchise, how good we are, how good we draft, scouting department, draft and develop, drafting good coaches. We're one of those teams who we don't change coaches that often. And that's a great thing, right? We don't change quarterbacks that often. That's a great thing, right? So there's a lot of great, So, yeah. I do believe Jordy, kind of silent killer type dude, but I think he had enough friends, Aaron Rodgers, a couple other people who spoke out for him too. And he did say something that was a bit disappointing. So, all right, maybe morally, maybe just instinctually with dealing with humans, maybe the Packers could get a little better, but let's actually talk about what's the real important thing of what happens on the field, okay? So was it a right decision or was it not? So first of all, Clay Matthews is calling out Rashan Gary. Hey, it ain't his fault he got drafted. It ain't his fault. That's just the number he happened to want or they assigned it to him. But he was not your replacement, Clay Matthews. The year Rashan came, he barely played that year. So he was not your replacement. So what we are looking at is your actual replacement of why you were able to leave. And it actually was a replacement with an S via the Smith brothers. So we're going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt here. Start off with Clay Matthews last year as a Packer. 1 forced fumble, 3.5 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, 46 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss. Okay. Underwhelming for what we used to see from Clay, right? That was his last year in Green Bay. Again, I've named out all the stats, but the sexy stuff, 1 forced fumble, 3.5 sacks. We normally watch Clay punch in a double-digit sacks. That's what we were used to. But come 2018, this is what we've seen from Clay Matthews, okay? So that was Clay Matthews' stats from 2018. All right. So 2019, this is what we comparing. His replacement was not Rashawn Gary. In 2019, who came in and took Clay's place? Zadarius Smith. They both had one forced fumble, but 3.5 sacks that Clay got, Zadarius got 13.5 sacks. Okay. Clay 46 tackles combined. Zadarius 55 tackles combined. 17 tackles for loss to Clay's 9. 37 quarterback hits, which is just crazy, to Clay's 11. So that proves it right there that we made that decision at the right time. And I'll give you guys even more the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we took Clay's last year from Green Bay. If that's not fair enough, we're actually going to go and look at his stats from when he played with the Rams. 3 passes defended, a forced fumble, 8 sacks. That was pretty good. 37 tackles, 11 for a loss, 11 quarterback hits. Okay. So even that year isn't comparable to what Zadarius Smith did in his first year as a Packer. So I really believe it is safe to say, no matter how we did it, no matter whose feelings or attitude was involved, I think we got rid of Clay rather a year early than a year too late, and it worked out for us in the form of a Zadarius Smith. So that was his main replacement. Do you guys need to be reassured a little more? Okay. Oh, hey, listen, Brandy, we're gonna get there. First, we talking about the departure of Clay, and then we're gonna talk about the departure of Zeke. You feel me? So let's finish Clay up. So Zadarius had a better first year with the Packers than Clay's last year with the Packers. Zadarius had a better first year with the Packers than Clay's first year with the Rams, which was the same year, right? So that's that. Zadarius was better over that time frame. Packers won in that one. Did you guys know we had another pass rusher who is still on the team? I call him Uncle P. Okay. So let's just remember Clay's last year in Green Bay. Forced fumble, 3.5 sacks. Okay. 46 touchdowns. Well, Preston Smith gets an interception. 4 passes defended. Forced fumble, 12 sacks. 12 sacks. Okay. 56 tackles, 23 quarterback pressures. So even Preston Smith came in and had a better year than what Clay did his last year in Green Bay and what he did the next year when he went to the Rams. So again, there is no comparison with this situation. Hey, probably could have been done a different way. Like Brandy said, the handshake and all that probably could have been done. I heard some of these motherfuckers didn't even get a phone call. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of communication can be improved. And then again, this is a whole nother video worth, and we'll go over this later. But we are also going to talk about Aaron Rodgers' departure and what the fuck we got in return the next year as far as statistically. We all know that Jordan Love had a better year. But that's a whole nother video. So, hey, stay with me here. So now, Preston and both Preston and Zadarius. Hold on, let me slow this down. All right, so first of all, both Preston and Zadarius had better seasons than Clay Matthews before he left the Packers and after. So that was a good deal there, okay? So that's that. That's 2 guys who replaced him. So now we're going to change this over, man. It's like Russian roulette. Zadarius, it is your turn now. So the thing about his abrupt departure from Green Bay is he was injured. So we cannot take his last year in Green Bay into consideration with his stats and compare him to Rashawn's. Why? Because the last year in Green Bay, Zadarius only played in 1 game. Missed the whole season after that, but then did come back for the playoffs and had a hell of a game against the Niners. So we'll give Zadarius that. But what we're going to look at, not his last year in Green Bay, he didn't play, but his first year in Minnesota, we're going to compare that to Rashawn Gary's best year since then. So his first year in Minnesota, 5 passes defended, a forced fumble, 10 sacks, pretty good, 10 sacks, 44 tackles combined, and 24 quarterback pressures. Okay, so we're going to give Gary the benefit of the doubt. We're not going to match year by year with this one because Rashawn actually, missed. He only played 9 games. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the season where Rashawn actually played 13 games, right? So his 13 games compared to Za'Darius 16. Za'Darius played 16 games with Minnesota, 5 passes defended, a forced fumble, 10 sacks, right? So Gary, he played 9 games in 22. But let's go to his other stats. 2 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 9 sacks, 44 tackles, 22 quarterback pressures. Now, Za'Darius got 10 sacks. Rashawn got 9. They both have an equal amount of tackles, which is 44. So, given with age and upside, I'm still going to say that this replacement works in the Packers' favor. Mad that Rashawn had some injury-riddled years. Even this past year, he only played 13 out of 17. But that is the stat line that we use to compare against Z's first year in Minnesota. So again, Z might have the overall better numbers just by a tad bit. But when you look at ceiling, when you look at age, when you look at trajectory, I would still say that Rashawn Gary, over time, right now I'm picking Rashawn, but the first year in Minnesota, I would say, healthy and all that, I would say Za'Darius was probably better than Rashawn. Well, he kind of should be. He got 3 or 4 years on Rashawn, and he actually came in and taught Rashawn. But what did we just go through today, you guys? Clay Matthews has something to say about how he left. When you look at the numbers, I could see if our replacements for him didn't do what they were supposed to do. But we had 2 guys come in and do better than Clay did on his last year with Green Bay. And not only that, they both did better than Clay's first year in the Rams. Hey, Clay totally motivated, goes to LA, back to where he's from, playing in LA, you're already going to feel a little better. That's how I think he mustered up 10 sacks. But still, even with that, he could not compare to Uncle P, Preston Smith, nor Za'Darius Smith. And we move on to Za'Darius' departure. Kind of like Devondre Campbell. We got to be careful when the motherfucker's injured. And I'd rather you tell me in the beginning of the season, all right, Za'Darius Smith is out for the whole season. We didn't know that. It seemed like he would play every week. It seemed like he was getting closer and closer to playing. He had a back issue. Again, when you're dealing with injuries, first of all, as a player, you're so mad because you know you're better than what you're producing, but you just hurt. Secondly, as a establishment, as the team, the Packers, you're looking at injury like, well, shit. Let's get out of this before it gets worse, or, we don't know what's going on. The backs are tricky. So you got to understand both, aspects of this whole deal. But again, at the end of the day, we replaced Clay Matthews. He was unhappy about it. We got better. We replaced Za'Darius Smith. He was unhappy about it. We got better. We could be on it, losing in on both sides. Tell somebody, fuck you, go ahead on your future endeavors and still be fucked up and still not put up stats as comparable to what one had done before. But we surpassed all that. And we already know for a fact we surpassed the J Love and Aaron Rodgers conversation. I don't even need to pull up Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay and the first year in Green Bay, Jordan Love. It's going to be night and day, but we will go through that. But that's a whole nother video. And we have another situation like this. It remains to be seen, but we're going to have to see if getting Josh Jacobs was actually an upgrade. We're going to have to challenge these people at ESPN who gave us a C- for getting Josh Jacobs. So now what I'm looking at is the development of Jacobs and his offense and whatever the fuck Aaron Jones does. So that's the next one we're going to be looking at. And next year in the offseason, we're going to go over the same kind of video and how we got rid of Aaron Jones at the right time and got him his right replacement. So that was my cold open, y'all. That was my cold open. Sorry I got to rambling, but I am done. Now we could get into everybody's questions if my motherfucking phone can work. Hey, bro, this phone is on its last strings, bro. I done held on too long, man. This thing is just very bad. Very, very bad. Hey, agreed. Shout out to my boy Zane Strong in the building, and I agree with you. Definitely, Uncle P is underrated. Hey, we kept him that long. He's still doing a good job, bro. Hey, you remember what we did with Uncle P? Not this year, but the year before. All right, we'll bring you back, Preston. We ain't gonna give you no money, but hey, if you get 10 sacks, we'll give you extra. If you get this many tackles, we'll give you extra. Uncle P went out there and handled his business. Even Aaron Rodgers said, "Hey, pay the man." You know, y'all put some obstacles in front of his way to get the bag, and he did what he needed to do. So again, shout out to Uncle P, another guy who, I don't know, might be his last year in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he's a legend. Hello, see, I agree with you, Joe. You know, hey, listen, it may sound bad, it may sound barbaric, it may sound like the Packers are just assholes and dicks. Now, again, you know, Aaron Rodgers' petty self returned the favor, right? Because in the offseason, we couldn't get in contact with him to talk to him. That probably helped Goop make his decision. Like, man, this motherfucker don't want to answer the phone. Cool. Then Aaron, oh, well, if you know me, you got to call the Wi-Fi. Listen, bro, we ain't doing no special situations for you, bro. Answer the fucking phone. You may have still been here if you weren't in your feelings, bro. But it shows to prove that we were right by that move, too. And now I'm sitting like, God damn it, we probably should have got, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Hey, I love everything Aaron did, and I actually was a person who I was like, at the time, I'm like, all right, one more year for Aaron, just because I love him. Second year with Dubs and the people, they know the ayahuasca route tree a little more, and it'll be a little more continuity. We were one game out of the playoffs. Aaron has to be feeling a certain type way about that. Let's go on a run. But no, ended all that, got J Love, and I couldn't be happier, you guys. Yeah, I didn't even mention the Browns because you know, it just his stats weren't comparable. You know, even though he was used a different way there, and he kind of got there, you know, late. You know, first he was supposed to play for the Ravens, then the Browns ended up getting him. So next year he probably might have his best year with the Browns, obviously. But yeah, man. And again, let's not discredit Zadarius Smith. 13 and a half sacks that first year was just incredible to see. Not only was that incredible, but you had to look forward to the celebrations afterwards. He just brought a whole different kind of swag to Green Bay that they haven't had for a while in the pass rusher. And he's passed it down. Him and Uncle P pretty much figured that out, and they passed it down to Rashawn. Rashawn gonna pass it down to LVN. So, you know, we in good hands, y'all. Shout out to my homie, man, Matt, man, Crocodile Dundee in the building. Oh yeah, I had to dig down. I had to dig down and look at look at TR from high school. That is not Fabio, nor is that Clay Matthews in my thumbnail. That is the great TR, man. The man, the myth, the legend. You see those abs? Yeah, you know, until week one, the first thing motherfucking reporters ask is, I've seen Kyle Shanahan get tired of this too, right? So right in the beginning, before his press conference, before he says a word about any of the game, he goes over all the injuries. He acknowledges what happened to each player and say, hey, we still working on it, trying to figure out what motherfuckers is going through. Maybe Matt LaFleur has to take that approach from his old buddy, right? Because Shanahan has been through a lot of rough spots dealing with the media. And one thing I will give him, he goes to the Super Bowl and he loses them. He has mental breakdowns. The offensive coordinator as of the Falcons loses 2 in a row to Pat Mahomes, not in a row, but to them in a row. You feel me? So, you know, he's been in front of the media where he probably want to be like Cam Newton and just walk off, but he just knows how to deal with them. Maybe it's from his dad, but I think Matt LaFleur should, before anybody says anything, say all the injuries that happen and tell them I don't fucking know. Because they're going to ask you as soon as the press conference starts, oh, Rashawn tweaked his ankle in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. He didn't come back. Is he okay? Well, he didn't come back because we fucking won the game and we didn't need him to be in there. And we're just being safe. And yes, he's fucking okay. You know, but what we might want to say, we don't know if he's going to play or not the whole week just to play mind tricks with our fucking opponent. So shut the fuck up. There's so many questions you can ask people. I swear, if I was asking the question, I'll ask so much different shit. They ask the obvious shit. You asking Monday about an injury. You know they don't see the MRIs until Monday. So why the fuck you asking? Anyway. Oh, I thought we got that done, Brandy. I thought we kind of signed him to a certain kind of deal, but I guess not. Hell yeah. Oh, we already know TR, but hey, you being humble. We all know TR was a stud linebacker, man, in his high school days, man, for sure. Letterman jacket and all that. You know, when he walked in the hallway, all the girls fell. Yeah, but I suppose, I suppose Clay Matthews didn't do, so much. Again, he had an impact with us. Packers Hall of Famer, absolutely. He gonna make NFL Hall of Fame and all that at some point. But Packers Hall of Famer, absolutely. But I don't think he did enough to just say, oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, you can't even touch that number. Like when Favre retired, you knew nobody was gonna get 4, right? But that was still a debate. Matthews did do a lot of great shit for us, but hey, it is what it is. I don't think so, not yet. Some reason, man, Kenny still got a little in the tank. He still got a lot to offer to me, and I think he gonna get one more deal, man. It might be a prove it kind of like 2 year, 1 year. Hey, I don't know, but yeah. Again, that can be possible. But again, he can be an outlier because he was the youngest player ever drafted up until this point, if I remember. Yeah, I hope not. And then hopefully they do learn from this. Okay, like it's okay for Gooden and them look in the mirror and say, you know what? Even though we firing somebody, we can be a little more, communicative. I mean, honestly, with me, if you fire me, fuck it, just fire me. I don't give a fuck about a handshake. I'm out of this motherfucker anyway. You'll see all what I did, and hopefully you appreciate what I did. But I don't give a fuck about no handshake on the way out. That don't do shit for me. But I guess some people, they feelings is involved. It's a business though. Yeah, and I think they'll do it. For sure, but that's why I'm saying this ain't gonna be, this ain't gonna be one of them deals, man. Let Russ cook. Let Russ Ball do his thing, man. And then again, okay. Even if that is a thing, 20 million dead cap for Kenny, for Kenny, for Kenny, and what he can bring and what he has brought. Hey, for Christ's sake, Brandy, you got the jersey. So clearly, if Brandy's confident in getting that big KC 97, he gonna be around, bro. And again, it's about his play too. There's always an exception. Now we may do things a certain way. Jair Alexander was an exception. Is he the prototype corner from Brian Gutekunst? Absolutely not. Okay, so that might work with Kenny Clark. Yes, that's why there was a Get Kenny Help campaign for a while, right? Get Kenny Help campaign for a while, and we seem to have gotten it, but all we see is the silhouette, right? We just see a little bit from Devonte Wyatt, bro. That's why this year I'm going to have the guys that I drag on and rag on throughout the year. Right now, it is only who we talking about? Who we talking about? Oh, right now it is only Devonte Wyatt. Why? Because he's a first round pick. Why? Because actually, watching him from his Georgia film is like, okay, once he gets the physicality of this thing, he's gonna be, like a poor man's Warren Sapp, which ain't bad at all. We've seen a little bit of flashes, but he got to put it all together, and I will be on his ass this year. It's one or two players where I'm like, okay, this is it for you. I've done it with Mason Crosby. I've done it with certain other players. No, I am not there with Keyshawn. I know some of you guys are. Y'all motherfuckers want to get rid of Keyshawn already. It's like, man, what's going on? Yeah, but I think he's going to slip through the cracks, Brandy. Number one, his age is kind of something you can play with. Like, okay, he is 8, 9 years in the league, but he's still 20, whatever the fuck he is, right? That's number one. And then number two, if you look at what he does on the field, that can't be duplicated by that many people, especially now that Aaron Donald's retired. Again, you got a lot of good D tackles out there, but I still would say, especially as an undersized one, kind of, Kenny got some meat on him, but again, he ain't no, Vita Vea or nothing like that. But still, bro, I think it's going to be okay. Well, shit, Mike Daniels was always mad, so he was going to leave mad. But yeah, we got to love Mike Daniels. I miss him, bro. No matter what, after a play, you seen that nigga talking shit. He just, hey, even if he got beat after a play, you still seen him running his mouth. I'm like, nigga, you just got beat. Hey, he didn't give a fuck. He said, yeah, nigga, I'm coming back. Hey, that's what we need, bro. That's what we need. And that's all we ask for, bro. Again, there's exceptions, there's outliers, bro. You know what I'm saying? I always say, hey, I was fortunate enough, maybe it kind of actually damaged my life, right? But I was fortunate enough to lose my virginity at age 6. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody does that. You know what I'm saying? So I was an exception at that point. You feel me? So, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, they asked Gutekunst this, and he still likes them big, right? They asked him this exact question, and he said he still likes them big. And to me, bigger is better. And then again, it's not like, the bigger now is crazy because it's not like they're lacking speed. You used to have to compromise, like, okay, he's big, he's a little slower, but he's so powerful. Bro, these DNs and all these other, like, these cats is really coming out running sub 4.8s for linemen and shit like that. So, I mean, even though they're big, they're still moving just as fast. I'm sure if you get those same, San Francisco guys' numbers, got to be similar to LVN. I'm sure Bosa and LVN isn't that far from each other as far as, running in shorts and doing all these drills and shit, But hey, it's going to be a short one today, y'all. Got to get the hell up out of here. A lot of business needs to be handled, but I thank y'all for coming out, and I think I got my point across. We could have went into the whole Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love thing, but that would have been, just wasting my breath because we all know that Jordan had a better first year than Aaron's last year at Green Bay. That's the only thing we could compare it to, to see if we actually came out on a better side of certain deals. And we have more often than not. So again, can it be done a different way? Probably so. A handshake and a phone call, if that really is what makes the main difference, to me personally, I wouldn't give a damn. Hey, I'm out of here. I don't even want to say bye. I want to take out all my shit and leave before anybody even sees me leave the building. That's how I would do it. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that is only because GOAT Mike, Brandy Lewis, what you got to remember, the week heading into that, we were all confident. We were saying how we going to win, but GOAT Mike came in the stream. Oh, Myers is going to wipe Chris Jones with the floor or wipe Chris Jones with, that saying. I'm like, GOAT Mike, listen, we all love Myers, but there's levels to this shit. As you can see, the biggest bag went to Chris Jones just this offseason. So that was a very bad game for him, and it should have been because he went against the best D tackle in the game. For sure. Yes. No. The bigger, the better. He already said it. So he likes the bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to corner, he normally likes the bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? But I much rather have a Jair Alexander than a Kevin King. I'm just telling y'all. But hell yeah, I'm out, y'all. Hey, peace out to the chat. Shout out to my boy Crocodile Dundee. Shout out to my boy coming through again, Joe. Hey, Joe been being consistent. Y'all better watch out for Joe now. My favorite Brandy Lewis, of course. Shout out to TR. If I forgot about you, I didn't forget about you. Shout out to Milto, man. Shout out to Eric Bain. And if you guys did not hit the like button on the way in, please hit it on the way out for you guys. And please check out those, not thumbnails, but whatever I put up there that introduces anybody who's interested to my gaming channel and what goes on over there. One tag should be one part of the gameplay, and then one tag should also be just a tag to my channel over there. So I really, really thank all you guys for your support. And we'll be back tomorrow for Wake and Pack. I'm out.